Today's video is brought to you by Oxedo LED lighting. You might think that you can see just fine at night. Well, I did too, until I did this little upgrade. As you can see from this footage, here is some before Oxedo LED lighting, and here is some after Oxedo LED lighting. The difference is amazing. With high brightness and easy installation, Oxedo LED lighting is definitely the route for you. They're easy to install, and they're available for all makes and models. Click on the link in the description below and enter promo code 612motorsports at checkout to get yourself 15% off. Now back to our video. I just wanted to take a quick moment to interrupt today's video to remind you all of the 612 merchandise Black Friday through Cyber Monday merchandise sale. The link is down below in the description. If you enter promo code HOLIDAY at checkout, you get 10% discount, which is perfect for this holiday season. Make sure you shop through every so often because we are adding a new design every Friday. And I know with the holiday times, money can be a little tight. If you don't want to pick up any merchandise or just aren't able to at this time, that's fine. Go ahead and throw a subscription down there because, well, they're free and it does help support the channel. Back to today's video. Hello and welcome back to another episode of 612 Motorsports. In today's episode, I am going to finally be giving you the long-awaited and well overdue walk-around description of the 32 Ford Roadster. As you can see, I've got it sitting here beside me. We're parked out on a nice little street. We're actually blocking the street. Thank God it's a closed road with no traffic, so we have a little time to walk around this thing and get you guys drooling. Okay, so what you're looking at is a 1932 Ford Roadster. This is an all-steel body. It is a Brooksville steel body, which means it's a reproduction, but it's as close to original Ford stamping as you can possibly get. It is one of the most sought-after steel body kits that they make. The car is sitting on original 1932 Ford frame rails that do have the VIN number stamped in, and I will show you those here in just a moment. We're just going to continue our walk around of the outside here. We have original new old stock guide headlights. Super cool, super rare. As you can see, the guide stamp there, that is very, very cool. They're the deep dish with the little turn signal on the top. Very classic, very nice looking. They really make the front end stand out on that thing. I really like those. Since we're up front here, we've got the Buick finned brake drums. Now that is a multifunctional deal. The hot rodders use them for appearance-wise. They look cooler than all get out, if you ask me. And the fins on there are actually made to help cool, dissipate heat and that sort of thing for when you're braking. You want to have a decent, cool brake. A hot brake is not going to give you any kind of stopping power whatsoever. We've got steel braided lines, which are going to add some aesthetics along with making your brakes feel a little stiffer, which is kind of a good thing. You don't want a spongy setup there. And if you'll notice, I've got where all the wiring would come out of the headlights in a custom made tube that's kind of flared nice. It's bent in there. It looks like Ford should have done that from the factory. Although they never did, that's just something a little extra. And that's just a nice little custom touch that we have on this vehicle. Moving up here to the front, our windshield is got a heck of a slope on it. It's called a Duval windshield. It's kind of the speedster style. You want that for aerodynamics, and actually it looks pretty damn cool as well. So to go along with the windshield, we also have some super sweet matching little side mirrors along with the rearview mirror. All of that is identical. They're from the same company, and it really looks cool. So the top is a one-piece lift-off bop top. and it's literally like 4 little screws that hold it on, so it's easily maintainable for one person to take on or take off. The original magnesium Halibrand center lock rims. These things are ridiculous. They are so cool. The magnesium has not necessarily a chrome finish or like an aluminum finish. It's got almost like a nickel look to it. A little slight haze of bronze if the light hits it just right. Very cool. The spinners, those are actually true knockoffs. That's what's basically holding the wheel on, is that, instead of 5 or 6, depending on what you have, lug nuts. A very cool feature. You see that a lot on the original Shelbys, Cobras, a lot of the NASCARs, even Lamborghinis and things are running stuff all center lock now. It's just kind of the way to go. I guess the rest of the market's catching up with what all the hot rodders have been doing for years. So as you'll see here on the back end, I have a spreader bar that is basically the rear bumper, and that is molded in a one-piece kind of a setup. Very nice, very clean look to that, and that also matches what we have in the front. So that carries from front to back. And what's nice about this is it has 25 louvers on the hood sides versus your 20 or 21. Some of them have less. Now, the reasoning to have those, they do actually serve a purpose more than just being aesthetically pleasing. They add some strength and rigidity to the sides so that they're not flopping around on you when you're driving down the road. And they let the heat escape, which is going to let your engine run a little cooler and give you better performance. So here on the inside, we've got a nice brown leather with a light brown to a dark tan carpet. Very nice, very classy. It's not too much, it's just enough. Any more might be a little ugly, any less will just be a little plain. Very nice looking setup all around. And then on the inside here, as you can see, we've got the vintage, focus for me, the vintage Stuart Werner winged gauges. We've got a 39 or 40 Ford steering column with the on-off switch and banjo wheel. Just a nice classic timeless look. You really can't go wrong with that. It's very simple on the inside, and honestly, you just get what you need, no more, no less. We've got some switches underneath here for our fan and our headlights, our inside lights. We've got little map lights underneath and things. So there's just some switches there for that. We've got our turn signals here. We've got a little push button starter over here. So you flip the key on, you turn the key, and then you push the starter. Very nice. The top is in great shape, like I said. Literally, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the top comes right off. And that's perfect for days like today. So as you see here, the trunk is also finished out in that high quality finish as the rest of the inside of the car. And there's this nice little hump in the rear end here in the trunk pan that's going to allow some room for that rear end to travel up and down as far as suspension goes, so that you're not bottoming anything out, causing any issues. There's also this beautiful little courtesy light in the back. There's one on this side here as well. It's just a nice little feature. Obviously that didn't happen in 1932, but that's something that we have had done. Very nice there. As you can see, one of my favorite features is the classic original 1932 B license plate. This is a Model B, so that would be a very correct plate for this vehicle. Unfortunately, we cannot run it that way with this plate here in Florida, but whatever. We just leave this one on because it's made for the car and it looks dang nice. So one thing I'd like to point out on this vehicle also is the grill shell is a real 32 steel shell. A lot of the reproductions, steel or fiberglass, they don't have the same contour as the original ones, and you cannot run the Ford emblem on them because they don't fit around the edges here. None of this trim at all would fit properly. So if you see one without that, chances are it's a reproduction or it's fiberglass. Odds are, if it was a real one, they'd be running the emblem. All right, so let's take a peek under the hood here. As you'll notice, right off the bat, you see this nice custom air cleaner cover. There's also a little courtesy light for if you need to get under there and work in the dark. There's a nice little cover too around the distributor and everything there. Just kind of ties it all together nice. All of the system up front here, if it's chromed, polished, cleaned up real nice, crisp. Like I said, there's only 1,000 miles on this, so everything is going to be looking really new. So we have ceramic coated headers hooked up to 3-inch ceramic coated exhaust. Very sweet. This happens to be a 350, but it is a built fast burn 385 horse crate aluminum head motor, and that's what it came with, like when the crate was opened. But knowing how people can't leave anything alone, it was tore apart and it was beefed up some. Now, exactly what was done to it, I'm not certain, and I'm not going to tell you anything that I'm not sure about. But I'm guessing it was just maybe gone through. Now, speculating, it could have possibly had a cam or something, maybe some different rockers put in. It's hard to say. But this thing runs super smooth, very nice. You could run it all day long, not have any problems. And that is hooked up to a turbo 350 trans. And that driveline is hooked up to a 9-inch Curry rear end. While I've got the hood up, I'll show you, right, you can kind of see these marks right there are 1s actually in the VIN number, but this is the Ford stamped VIN in the frame rails, so that allows it to be titled as a 32 Ford, which therefore makes it a 32 Ford. Very important. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video of the 32. It's got a lot of features and a lot of things, a lot of real custom deals. There's so many that it's really hard to kind of go over each and every one of them. And to be honest with you, I've climbed around this car now for a few weeks and I'm still finding things that I didn't know it had. So please forgive me for not listing everything off, but there's just so much there. And honestly, none of us, me or you, have the time to sit and watch this video and listen to the big huge description. It would literally take days. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. That's going to wrap her up for today. If you've made it this far, please go ahead, hit that subscription button. If you made it this far, please go ahead and hit that subscription button. Leave a thumbs up, a comment below. All that stuff is super, super helpful, and it's very greatly appreciated. Also, check out the links in the description below for the merch store and Instagram. As always, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen.